ask Salman to say a few words, and then we'll have Anita ji speak.
All right. Anita Desai, I think, is a writer who stands at a very important moment in the history of Indian literature in English. Stands between an early generation of writers like Narayan and Mukhraj Anand and Raja Rao, comes after them and comes before, so to speak, the deluge of, a new Indian writer every 5 minutes. And Anita's work is a bridge between the past and the present. She's a writer that I think all of us who read her when we were thinking about being writers were enormously affected by, moved by, learnt a lot from. And I think she's a writer that you can put on a world stage. I think if you look at a novel like Clear Light of Day, it would compare to the best of Jane Austen. In Custody, I think, is one of the great novels about the death of a certain kind of India, the much to be regretted death of a certain kind of India. So she's in some ways a much more modern writer than the writers that came before her, and showed us the way. For me personally, I have a little debt of gratitude, which is that when Midnight's Children was being published, the first review of it that was published in the United States was written by Anita Desai in the Washington Post. And I didn't know her, I'd never met her at the time, but I of course knew her work. And when I saw that Anita liked the book, I thought maybe it's not so bad. I've always been very grateful for that early encouragement, and I'm happy to give her this very heavy award.
Last time I came to an India Abroad event, it was Ismail Bersin who was being honored. He had just released the film In Custody, we just saw a clip of, and he just swept up everyone even remotely connected with the film, plus all the nieces and nephews he could round up, and so that we might all celebrate together. I miss him very much tonight, and so I'm especially happy to have another friend still here, Salman, who's never forgotten that review of his first book, and always mentions it. He's been a most wonderful friend through the decades and over continents, and I've always maintained my admiration for his work and his person. But there's a friend here who goes back even further back in my history, and was very, very happy to glimpse this evening. That's Madhu Jafri, because as her sisters and my sisters and I used to bicycle down Alipur Road together to go to Queen Mary's High School for girls in Old Delhi. And here we are tonight. Who would ever have thought? I'm always happy to see streets, and remind me of a relationship going back to Saja days. I'm very sorry that another India Abroad friend is not here tonight because he's very ill. But I'd like to tell you how wonderful it's been to have this connection with Arthur Pace, whom I think of as a great asset that India Abroad has. Unlike most journalists who strike terror into one's hearts, especially nervous people like myself, he always meets one with such kindness and such generosity. He puts you at ease even when he's interrogating you. And it also helps that he arrives bearing extravagant gifts, baskets of flowers, exotic plants, all kinds of goodies. And he has trained his photographer friend, Paresh Gandhi, in the same arts. So, friends both absent and present make up the company here. A little India that's not so little anymore. And I'm happy to be amongst and grateful to you for choosing me for this immense honor which I never expected. I have no idea if I deserve it, but it does make me aware again and grateful again for having been born where I was born, to have had a childhood where I did have it, and reminds me that there would have been no books, there would have been no books written by me if it hadn't